the I think the last three call one of us said something. I said that question they asked is a wrong question. I think we should be focusing on, because we know that APC will not do anything. Because if they, by this time, you may have seen how they're trying to mobilize the troops or trying to come up with a strategy, but they're not doing anything. Rather, they are going around trying to spread the narrative that is both Christian and Muslims. Can't we ask the question, what is the solution? Because as we can see it now, we know that there's no solution, but what is the likely solution? And the likely solution is by involving the United States, by providing for them now, um, um, somehow trying to put pressure on the government to see what they can do. That is the narrative, because you and I know that nothing will be done. You see now, immediately this thing happened, our president flew to Rome, and the next thing, yesterday we saw him with on an interview with Trump's in-law, and they are forgetting that the United States already have, because if you know, I don't know whether you know, those in Benue already know, most of their pastors at the Catholic have been traveling to the United States for the last 10 years. So they have documented videos, they have interviews, they have pictures, and all of a sudden they are saying Muslim and Christian. You and I know that it's Christians that have been systematically being removed. And this operation that is going on in Nigeria is currently going on in Europe, where some of the clerics have said that their plan is to use population to remove the what they call it, the population of people in Europe, and they are giving themselves, is it 2050, to control France and Central Europe. This plan is already being done. So what we should be asking, what is the solution? And when I said something here, somebody now said, "Oh, why are you saying that? Why are you talking about restructuring the country or dividing the country?" Brother, there is no solution. And that solution may be difficult, but that is the true solution. Because when you are dealing with people who don't want to change, then the thing you have to do, you have to go is peace through strength. Because if you notice in the Sahel, these guys were quiet for a long time because there were people who were dealing with them. That is Algeria and Gaddafi. And once Gaddafi got eliminated, they now saw weakness and they are now seeing blood. So for them now, for you to reverse that blood, you have to give them strength. Over to you, Dosi.
Okay, thank you very much. I understand where you're coming from, and I really understand what you're saying. Let's, like I said, let's not expend any other energy on an alternative that would not be of benefit to us right now. The focus is what can be done, like you rightly said, that would turn the hand of time, and that is putting pressure on social media, as all social media is creating awareness so that the United States government would give us attention, more attention, not just attention, actionable attention, to force the hand of this present administration to do something about it, because it is becoming too much. And you and I know that when a goat is pushed to the wall, it fights back. And when it comes to that, no matter how armed they are, we are more than them. We are going to we are going to win, but it will become anarchy. It will become chaotic. We don't want war. Is not a good thing. And but the way they are going, if this alternative is not taken seriously, we don't have a choice. We don't have a choice. But we pray it doesn't get down to that, because if it does, it's not going to be funny. Okay, look at what Madagascar's did. They took the bulls by the horn, and today is a different story. They just brought something on social media lying that some generals have been arrested for planning coup. Is a lie. I tell people these are smoke screen. They're just trying to divert attention so that the pressure we're already mounting. Because if you check X, most of the social medias today, it is this topic that is being discussed, and that's because we have been putting pressure. We have been shifting. What you said is an alternative. Sharing the country is an alternative, but is a bridge that is still far from where we are. Is a bridge that is still far from where we are. If we have to explore all grounds, it is when it is no longer a, if there's no longer a way to cohabit and stay together. If it's all exploited, I mean explored, that's when we can say, okay, I think this should be it as the way it is, because we cannot keep doing this. We cannot keep doing this. They keep killing us. They keep killing. Like the speaker before you said they kill their own when they discover there is a leak. There is the likelihood that this person is going to expose them to dissuade them from their agenda. These guys are focused. They are focused. Their mind is focused. They can do anything to achieve their aim, including lies in the name of their religion. They can lie, deceit, deception. These are the things. So let us keep the focus. Let us keep up with the force and continue. Thank you very much
Uh,
for your contribution there.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can
Dosi,
see.
Dosi, I beg, check your DM. Thank you.
Oh, okay, okay. I can see Kingsman. Your hand is still raised. I'll bring you on board. Let's hear Tize. Tize, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Jose. Good day, everyone. Um, First of all, if I'm to start with Christian genocide in Nigeria, this has been happening for over 50 years. And unfortunately, or fortunately, the government is admitting it now, or they are still denying it now, not because they have a plan or they are planning to end the genocide. No, it is because they want to do it and then they continue, unfortunately. Because again, most of the Christians in the north that in one way or the other have aired their views about this or have called for support about this have either been eliminated or silenced. So again, I think we need to understand that it's not even just the jihadists themselves, but it's a state-sponsored genocide because we have seen countless times where these guys, these terrorists, will give notification for them, and when you inform the relevant states, told them that this is their responsibility, they do nothing, or they even go come to your community and mop up your weapon that you have, things like cutlasses, knives, protect yourself. They mop up uh, these things from you, and then they leave you more vulnerable to come at the time they told you, carry out their evil act, and then when they leave, now your same state armed authorities, now police, military, will come back again. Look at the town; those who are angry will be arrested as perpetrators when they know the perpetrators have carried out this attack and they have left that environment. This is synonymous in all the attack that's happening against Christians or against Middle Belters. And again, when you even deep further, let's take Borno State for example, where I stay. Now, in Borno State, you have Borno North, you have Southern Borno, you have Borno Central. Now, the southern Borno is believed to be 98% Christian. That's where Bola comes from, unfortunately. And again, just like I've said in so many conversations, Bola cannot go to his village today, even though he moved with I don't know how many number of convoy. He cannot go to his village today because of these terrorists. So that's another conversation for another day. Now, when you take Borno into cognizance. And I think Kingsman say he served in Borno, so he can come up and say this is not the reality. If you look at Borno, the southern Borno, which consists of Biu, Howell, Askira Uba, Goza, all those communities, they constitute like 95% Christians. Now, when you take the northern Borno, 99.9% are Muslims and majorly Kanuris. You can have Shua, Arab, and some few persons who are from Cameroon or Niger residing there, but majority of people in northern Borno are Kanuris, which are majorly Muslims. Now, the Borno Central, where I stay, of course, usually the sector is it consists of Maiduguri, MMC, Jere, Kondega. Most of people there are people who are not from Maiduguri. Again, you'll have significant number of Kanuris. Maybe let's say 50% are Christians, 50 are non Christians, like the other tribes from Nigeria. They all come to that because that's where the business activity takes place, right? If you look at the when Boko Haram in Maiduguri at the center state, where seat of power is, where you have military formation, DS, everything they started in Maiduguri. Guess what? Even the communities that are majorly Christians, after they feel that they have conquered those communities, they went for all these other people that are out that are believed to be from outside Borno State. Now, other tribes, Igbo and just name them that are from outside Borno State. When they feel they have conquered those ones, what did they do? They started adopting pastors from their homes. That was when they were bombing churches. That was when in Maiduguri you cannot even go to a church, even as a Christian. You have to choose your life, or you have to just give up your life just because of the jihadists. But during those times when the Christians or people who don't even subscribe to this terrorism within Medugui, when they started speaking, go and check the papers from 2019, I mean 2014, 2015. Even stakeholders from Borno State, people like our current vice president, they came out on national TV and denied it. In fact, at some point, the senior guys in Maiduguri, people like the emir, the well-known Islamic scholars that spoke against this thing on national TV, they were killed. And that is what somebody will tell you that, oh, it is not only pastors that are being killed, even Islamic scholars are being killed. Those Islamic scholars that are being killed are those who spoke against that jihadism or terrorism, you call it, or the genocide, as it fits both madness. Now, when they feel, and at that point, imagine if an Islamic scholar come on national TV and said he does not subscribe to the killings of non-Muslim or infidel or other tribes in Maiduguri. Authorities should bring them to book. Guess what? The next night, that Islamic scholar will be butchered in his house. He's not butchered because he's a Muslim. No, he's butchered because he does not subscribe to the jihadism or the like people are doing. That's the only reason. And go and check in the whole of Northern Borno. These guys have successfully burnt down all standing churches in Northern Borno. Same applies to Southern Borno. But in the Meduguri center, that was not, or Borno center, that was not successful because it was militarized. And even within this Borno Central, we have had this from military personnel who went on these operations. That when they go for operation and you're being seen as you are killing these jihadists or this Boko Haram excessively, your own fellow colleagues will kill you. It has happened. Kingsman is a military guy. He can deny it. It's not happening. We have seen times where if people want to go, they have to do amongst themselves. Are we from the same? Do we all have the same mindset or otherwise? That's within the military. So if military officers who have history of eliminating these terrorists are being killed on the battlefront, then what can you do? A mere bloody civilian because you don't want the genocide to stop, or you just speak against it that this should stop. Trust me, they will press your generation and eliminate it. And that is why for a long time, for over 10 years now, you barely hear any Christian from the North go on TV or social media and talk about these things. Because the few that have tried it, they were eliminated completely and wiped out from the surface of the earth. And if you are believed to be somebody like Bola, that you have wherever, Bola has not been in Southern Borno for over 10 years. Okay, like when I believe he has never resided there for over 10 years. I think he was really in US, Abi in Abuja before he was given this appointment. Let him come to his state and let him come to his village and come and stay for just a week, and you will hear the story. But again, he can even be spared. Why? Because people like them are seen as the mouthpiece of the jihadists. Because Bola, I believe, is a Christian, but he will come on media and deny that his own Christians are being killed. These are things that he was 10, 15 years. I think he still 10, 15 years ago. You will see that at some point he spoke against these jihadists. But now, for some reasons, for some weird reasons, 10, 15 years ago, you're crying about jihadists or me Christians have been killed in your locality. But after 15 years, you are coming on media to defend when nothing was done. Like there is no any issue to stop it. And let me also tell us or inform those that care to know that Tinubu is not changing the narrative or trying to suppress the genocide because he will do anything to end it. No, it is for his pure politics. Pure politics. He feels that this might have negative impact on his votes in the Christian dominated places across the north. That is why he's trying to twist the narrative, not to like I can give him a pass. That it's okay. This guy just maybe this don't started because of him. It started because of the man that he supported, which is my brother Buhari. At least he was not in power, even though he was close to the power. He was one of the people that were controlling the presidency. He was one of the people that said he put Buhari there. At least let me believe that he was not there. But the main reason why Tinubu is twisting this narrative, it is because he just want to come back 2027, let the whole thing continue. But he's not doing anything whatsoever to stop it or to minimize it or to even say, hey, what enough is enough. What you have done, I have forgiven you, don't continue. No, he's not in any way thinking around that angle. For him, choose the narrative and then let the worst happen. Besides, he has given the Minister of Defense to Mutawali. Who is the Mutawali? Mutawali are the people who created the jihadists in Sokoto and Zamfara. Today he's the Minister of State. So what I say, who is the current chief of army staff? Is somebody from Southern Kaduna. Did the killing in Southern Kaduna stop? No, it did not stop. The only thing that happened is okay, now no media coverage. Of course, in Nigeria now, you will see a community is being wiped off. Like people in their hundreds are killed. But go and watch what is being displayed on our national TV is one cultural dance in Benue or one yam festival in Taraba. When in the same Taraba, maybe a night or a week, 50 people were killed, but you will hardly see any of our national television airing those news. And again, I don't blame them because we have seen when the late Melafia, when he went on one of the television station and just give out like 5% of what the jihadists are doing or the terrorists are doing in the north, that same television station nearly got banned. In fact, National Broadcasting Commission have to charge them, I think, 50 million or thereabout. So now they even want to. In fact, in the north now, if you go to any television station or radio station and you begin to talk about the genocide or the killings in the north, even if you do not even say genocide, you begin to say the killings in the north have to, they will cut off and they will ask you to either change or you leave. And if care is not taken, you may not go to your house. You will be killed. Or have you forgotten the king that was the first class emir that was killed in Kaduna because he attended a security, a state security meeting, and in that meeting he said he would not be part of people to eliminate people because of their religion or because of their tribe. The guy did not reach his house. So if somebody who works with DSS, with military, with convoy can be eliminated by the state and nothing happened, just think about what happened to mere pastors or mere citizens or civilians that speak against these killings or this genocide in the north.
All right, all right.
So
Thank you
if it
very
is
much.
about Christian genocide, that is an established fact. You don't need to think about it. Why is
Tizi.
the government lying about just to maintain the status quo?
Thank you, Tizi. Tizi, thank you very much for your contribution. And I really, really love your input. It's very, very insightful. And like you properly said that radio houses have been burnt because almost got burnt because they spoke up. Yes, that is the truth. That is not a lie because it has happened and we've seen it time after time happening. That is why the power you have right now is the media you have in your phone. This X, and you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have Telegram, and you have TikTok. These are places. These are places you can air your view and make the people be aware. In fact, potentially in this 21st century, everyone should be a journalist. That's the truth. Because if you rely on the mainstream media to come true for you, I pity you. They would not, because they are all sellouts. They are all sellouts. And so, thank you very much for your contribution, Mr. Tize. Is Oga Steve now around? Mr. Steve, are you available, sir? All right. Steve is not yet available. Real Ever, I want you to come on board. Kingsman, after Real Ever, you take over. Thank you very much. Real Ever, you can unmute your mic. The floor is yours.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're speaking from. Uh, Thank you everyone. Those have spoken and the organizers of the space. Thank you so much for actually keeping this very topic at the front burner. That is what I've said, that we have to talk about it in the morning, talk about it in the afternoon, talk about it in the night. Perhaps if they don't hear it in the morning, perhaps when we gather, they will hear it. So if they escape it in the afternoon, I'm sure in the night they will not escape it. But we just have to keep the street busy and continue to say this. It's for me, it gladdens my heart that at least for once we have actually developed that courage, to speak on some very some topic that we regard as sensitive, that before this time we cannot speak on those topics. Or even when we speak on those topics, somebody will tell you, oh, don't say this thing, don't say that, people don't get offended. And it is because for years we have actually called a spade, and people are killed, and somehow we don't want to address the root cause. So that is why this season becomes very important, because it has given voice and courage for Nigerians to speak out, irrespective of who will take offense about it. Because one thing, that truth is universal, and truth, no matter how much you hide it, truth will always prevail. Truth will always find a way to come out. And that's why most people are surprised that, oh, why will it take somebody from to come and say something? That's how the world work. Most times it might even take a mad person. It might take somebody that you never expected. It might take somebody that you never thought you would listen to come and speak to you. And I don't know why people are surprised, because most of these people that we are talking about, that since the creation of this country, that have been this relationship, like a kind of international relationship, between countries and countries. In short, the world you know, have one type of relationship or the other, and no country can hide itself. Information fly across national boundaries like the speed of light. In short, there are people in the US who know more about what is happening in Nigeria, more than even people living in Nigeria. There are also people in Nigeria who know so much that is happening in the US. More than, it depends on what one pays attention. No matter where you are, it depends on what you pay attention to. There are people who devote their attention in what is happening elsewhere, than where they are presently staying. So that is how, and informations are there. Informations are there because if you stay in the US and you stay in one particular state in the US and one news, something happens in another news, the same news that is carrying it is televised globally. So somebody elsewhere can even get that news before you. So that's why most time when people say, "Oh, you don't stay in this place." If you want to know, you know. There is nothing you want to know in this world today that you don't know. So if you take somebody who stays in the US to come and tell us that it's
Hello,
secret,
hello, hello, hello. Is that Socrates? I can hear somebody's voice. Greetings, really. I'm sorry to interject. I just wanted to thank everybody on the space and also my special co-host. I don't know whether you guys are feeling Dossio. The guy is a hidden talent that has been hiding. I forced him out and he has been doing a good job.
Oh God,
Dossio,
this
well done,
your
well done.
room.
You have been trying to find me. Where is Stevie? I'm listening. I'm here with two accounts. My personal account is also here, so I listen even though I'm not speaking. But well done. You've done a good job. I just want to let you guys know that what we are doing is hitting home. While we were on this space, Congressman Riley Moore of West Virginia just followed this account, and now I'm able to chat with him, and I've sent him information on the DC rally. So the congressman that has championed this is now, he may be on this space quietly listening
Wow,
to us.
wow, wow, wow,
We
wow.
are
That's
getting
a
a lot of
plus.
traction. Very
That's
soon,
a
I'm sure
plus.
Ted Cruz will follow us as well,
Oh
so
yeah,
that they
now
will know
let's
that
go, let's
Nigerians
go.
are talking. Because something that they are saying here in America is that they'll be looking for Nigerians talking about this problem. Because all they hear is the government's version. Why are we not speaking? So that's some of the questions they're asking. So your voice counts. So I want to congratulate everyone on this space. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Steve, for that.
Please don't stop talking. Go ahead, real over best. Yeah.
All right, thank you
Stephen, thank you for
very, very much, Oga Steve. But I still need you here. Make you the breeze in sometimes, as you breeze in now. Breeze in.
Quiet, quiet. I'm here. I'm here like a spirit. Like a spirit. They know they see us.
All right, all right. Okay, the speaker should go ahead. The floor is yours. Continue.
Yeah, real over best. Yeah, yeah.
all right. Thank you, Steve, for that vital information. It's heartwarming. In short, I was actually telling somebody on in his inbox now that we should actually try to have follow up this issue of Tinubu going to meet this Trump in law. I know what they have gone to do. Perhaps he's trying to see how he can use that man, to coerce Trump to say,
You
"Oh,
want to
not
use family connection. You know go work. You know go
yeah."
work.
So we have to put them. We have to put them. We have to put them on notice. I was even talking to somebody in boss now. So thank God we have gotten somebody that we can actually push this thing. So everybody should tweet it, retweet it, that this thing is not, so that people will know. Because this government is doing everything, possible to make sure that they die this thing. And it's unfortunate. I keep saying this thing that if you understand, if you're looking at politics globally now, you will see that these people that you call radical Islamists, right? They have a foothold. They have a foothold in the world, and they have a influence in high places. In high places, they have in countries' capitals. They have foothold in Ivy League schools. All these big schools you're seeing, their professors have endowment fund. They send them money. They open, send them all manner. So they don't teach even their students. When you go to some of those schools like Harvard, Oxford, and all the rest of them, those students there have been brainwashed to cater to the devices of these manipulative people. That's why you see when Israel and Palestine is having problem, even when October 7 happened, everybody saw what happened. You saw the world almost coming against Israel. In short, they turned it upside down. The PR was so much that nobody talks about what happened in October 7th again. People are now saying, "Oh, Israel is a..." In short, people have gone to the point of even saying that those people living in the Middle East today, they are not the main Israel. They are not Israelites. Those people are just Europeans who just went there to take Palestinian land. People don't even want to read the history and see what actually happened? Who are these Palestinians? How did they even get there in the first place? So the battle we are fighting is not, it's not a small battle. It's a battle that has taken a global dimension. Meanwhile, we try to localize our own, try to say, oh, maybe it's just in Nigeria. No, it's not just in Nigeria. And we have keep saying this thing, and I will be saying it. This problem is above our pay grade. Like, so those people say, oh, Nigerians, we have to fight for. No, the problem, this particular terrorism, is above our pay grade. We don't have the wherewithal. We don't have the connections. Christian nations don't, have weapons to go and give to their fellow Christians. Okay, go and fight jihad. They don't do it. But these jihadist countries contribute money. They give it's a campaign. It's part of the religion. There is nowhere in the world today, there is no country in the world today where you see that Muslims were dominating, that later now Christians started dominating that country. There is no place. The only history you have is places where Christians were more, today they are more of Muslims. That is what you see. Whether it's in Turkey, whether it's in any country you can talk about, it has always been, oh, this country, they were once Christians before, but now today they've turned. Lebanon is like that. Just from even the 1960s here. From the 1960s, Lebanon was predominantly a Christian country. Albania, is it Albania? Albania, they call that country. It used to be a Christian country. But after the fall of Ottoman Empire, that country, became a Muslim. It's like 51% a Muslim country. All over the world, it's like that. There is no, oh, this country was predominantly Islam. And today they have become, no, it can't happen, because the Christian approach to faith is different from the Muslim. So this thing is something for Christians. It's about, we want to preach Christianity to everybody, like let people know that, oh, Christ died and resurrected. That's just our problem. But the mandate of Muslims is to take over, and that is how they took over all these places you're calling Middle East now, whether it's Jordan, whether it's Egypt, whether it's everywhere there, whether it's Iraq, whether all those places, Iran, all those places used to be, a predominantly Christian country, and before it was overthrown. And if you think that Nigeria cannot be overrun, you're joking. You're dreaming. And the truth is that everybody have to come to terms, and that's why I started by saying there are things before this time we cannot speak to, because when you speak to those things, they say, oh, don't you offend somebody. Islam is an ideology. Islam is not a human being. It's not a country. Islam is an ideology. And every ideology should be subjected to criticism. I want to repeat that again. Islam, Muslims are people who practice Islam. Just like Christianity, Christians are people who practice Christianity. So my problem is Islam, that ideology. And that ideology should be subjected to criticism. And any ideology that cannot be criticized, that cannot be scrutinized, that ideology is a bad ideology. It's satanic. It's repugnant to equity and human and just. So anybody who is coming to say, why am I Christian? I should criticize it, because it's an ideology. It's an ideology that you're spreading that people should believe. So people should know what they are. That's like Christianity. Christianity is the most criticized religion. The Bible is the most criticized book in the world. There is no other book in this world that has been criticized, turned upside down, done everything to it. There's not, the Bible is still standing. It's not, even if somebody go today and buy 2 trailers load of Bible and decide to burn it or decide to use it and smoke Igbo, it's that person's business. The Bible will still be there. Christians will still be there. We are not going to fight anybody. So what is this religion that when somebody speak against it, people will now come and kill you? What is this God? This God that when you speak against it, somebody will carry machete and want to kill you. What is this God that is not strong enough? That the God that is not even strong enough to kill cockroach, and people are worshiping that God. The reason why people worship God is because they believe there is something, this thing is more than me. That is why I should worship a God. I cannot worship a God that I'm stronger than. I cannot worship a God every morning I wake up, I want to go and fight for that God. That God should come and worship me, because I'm the one defending him or her, whether it's he or her. So the reason why we worship God is because we feel that God, we cannot even explain this God. We cannot even fathom it. It's even the African man. That is why even when African man was so ignorant and was in search of God, when African man sees something that is very big, if he sees a mountain that is very big and he cannot explain the mountain, he bows down and says, oh, this thing that is so big like this must be. If he sees a tree that is so big, he cannot explain how that tree, he can bow down and worship. Because human beings are subjected to worship. There is always that need for something that is more than you, for you to worship it. And that is how the concept of even worship, come into being. So it's a consciousness that is in every person's mind. that you want something that is bigger than you. Even people who call themselves atheists, the question they are asking is that the explanation about God, they cannot fathom it. That is what they are saying. They cannot explain it, and therefore they say, because they cannot explain it, this thing does not exist. Because nobody can explain. If you explain God, then it's not God again. And therefore, what we are saying is that there's a Christian genocide in Nigeria, and this thing is happening, and there are people who are trying to hide it, and it is real. Prophet, the person who preached this ideology, even in his own time, perhaps if he's alive today, if he's alive and see what is happening, maybe he will rewrite his book, he will write the Quran, because the Quran is about somebody waking up in the morning and say, I saw this, God told me this. You know, he wake up the next morning, God told me this. He wake up the next morning, God, there was nobody to corroborate what he was saying. So everything was what he wake up, just like me waking up tomorrow morning now. I say I killed 20 lions in my dream. Nobody
Yeah,
dreamt
yeah.
that dream with me.
Thank
Nobody's
you
going to
very
question me.
much. Thank you
No,
very much. Thank you very much.
please let me summarize. Let me summarize. Please let me
Oh,
summarize. Just
okay.
1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute, please. So the point I'm making is this: the government everywhere. If you take a closer look of what is happening internationally, you see that liberal government all over the world tend to cater to the Islamists. They tend to cater to protect them. They tend to cater to believe that, oh, these people are peaceful, nobody should talk about all over the place. Liberal government, conservative government all over the world is now waking up to say we cannot condone this thing again. Because when you just check immigration all over the world, you see that greater percentage of immigrants all over the world are immigrants that come from Arab countries. Majority of immigrants today are people that come from Arab countries to European nations, and most of these European nations are nations that are built with Judeo-Christian value. They are not going to Saudi Arabia. They are not going to Qatar. They are not going to all this. They are not going there. They are going to Christian countries to go and dominate them, to go and tell them how they should live their life, to go and tell them if they don't agree with them, they are going to kill them. And that is what it. So they have a network. That is where I started, and that's what I want to end. They have a network of how they are planning to do what they are doing. And if we have Christian countries, across our border that is coming up to say, no, we want to talk about what is happening, we should embrace it. We should not allow people to come and say, oh, maybe because you're living in those countries, you don't like that party. You now don't want to take what they are doing. What is happening is miracle. Today, what is happening today is miracle. And all of us should speak in one voice, because it's a voice of help, it's a voice of hope. This thing is help that is in our way. It is not that they are going to bring their army to come and fight. It is that they are going to speak on our behalf and say, name those people who are responsible, seize their bank account, threaten them, and tell them if they don't stop this nonsense, that because all of them have global connection and they don't want. That is why your president is now working. Is now going all over the places to see how he can stop what is coming from happening. What I want them to do is to put Nigeria in focus, that this Nigerian government or the Nigerian people, the Nigerian Islamists is killing Christians in Nigeria, so that the world will know, and we should not stop saying it. Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, all right. Thank you very much, Relevant, for that. Insight and analysis is very, very okay. Like I said before now, I said any God that you fight for is not a God. And you put it precisely the way I put it before. Whatever is not bigger than you, whatever you cannot, whatever you can control, whatever you defend, whatever you protect, shouldn't be a God. Is what you cannot wrap your mind on around, what you cannot comprehend, what you cannot fathom. That is what can be called God. But then again, above all this, we have the Almighty God, which even your spirit bears witness with you that this is actually the Almighty God, and you know it. It is just there. There is a knowing. There is no logical explanation, but there is a knowing in the core of your being. You just know that there is a deity, an entity that is bigger than all of this, that put everything into place. It is interesting and amazing. And like he rightly said, they've been coming all this while. They've been struggling, they've been fighting, they've been putting things in place, and the idea is just to establish the caliphate and everything like that. Trump, God brought him for a period like this. I couldn't have. There's no way you can even imagine what would have happened if Harris had won the election. It would have been terrible because they have an agenda they are pushing and everything like that. It is so heartbreaking when you see people turning away or shying away from the truth when they know it's the truth. You know, our government is just propaganda. One of the speaker rightly said that you can imagine it. If you can imagine it concerning this government, that they have a whole story building full of people who just sit from morning till night. All they do is to just spread propaganda on the social media, spread lies. Is doable because this government has proven time and time again the extent they are ready to go, they are willing to go, what they are willing to do to achieve their agenda. It is the narrative you and I are pushing that is going to really cast more light. Like our host said, that one of the senators that's pushing this thing has joined the group. I mean, is following our handle and everything like that. I think we are beginning to matter, but this is not the time to relax. This is the time to add, to push, to keep pushing like nothing has happened. We have to keep crying. They've been crying. I mean, they've been eager to hear Nigerians speak because all the records they got is from our government, which of course you and I know are actually lying. They give wrong statistics, wrong side of the story, they cover and everything like that. Now the story is coming from you and I. We shouldn't rely on the mainstream media again because they are compromised, they are sellouts. With this little technology, with your phone, you can do anything. You can cause harm, you can do good and everything. And the good news is that for this, we are the voice of those whose voice cannot be heard in the interiors, in the villages, in the creeks, those whose voice cannot be heard. That's what we're doing. And it's a just cause.